Mallory, let's go to the hotline, and let's bring in our normal Tuesday guest that we have decided to push to Thursday.
Woo.
By our own volition. He didn't make that decision. That was us. We made that choice. We're joined by the Hall of Famer, my co-host on Valley Sports Southwest's High School Scoreboard Live. He is the great Craig Way. Craig, I just spoke to you an hour ago, but we can just pretend for radio purposes. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. I'll ask you the same question I asked you an hour ago when you did your regular Thursday spot on my show. How's soon-to-be father number two hood going? And it's already been unearthed that Jen was not allowing you to go down to Victoria for Shiner Refurio tonight, since you are on kid watch duty. What 96 hours till delivery time?
Something like that. We're cooking with gas around here. All right, so Craig, I want to go back to last week because I know that we've kind of pushed forward a little bit on this, but I wanted to ask you about last week and what we saw, especially on Black Friday, where we had 6 state champions go down. Because I asked Matt Stepp this on Tep and Step as well, but I'll ask you, can you remember a day, or even you could just take the entire round, can you remember a time where there was that much, so many heavyweights going down all at once that it was pretty, that basically, I described it as gobsmacking. I'm interested in can you remember a time like we saw last Friday where those types of results came so fast and furious?
Not in one round, not in one weekend, and certainly not in one day. Yeah. That was seismic, everything that happened. It was gigantic to see the surprises that happened, or the defending state champion. And they weren't all surprising, but when Carthage and Aledo go out on the same weekend, that is headlines. And that was huge. So, yeah, that was something I think unprecedented. And we can look at this in layers, Tep, because of the way the playoff structure, the current playoff structure is built over this past decade. So if you look at it for context, then nothing like this has happened like this. And then prior to the last decade, where teams were just starting to layer in their second state champions and their fourth playoff teams and things like that, it hasn't happened on that level either, because you had fewer teams involved to have that kind of seismic, mountain crushing weekend. And it takes, I would say, probably a healthy dose of playoff teams to make a massive weekend like that happen. Well, now, and I think you and I have talked about this, and we're in perfect agreement, we like how the playoffs are. And for those who have said that, there's too many teams in the playoffs every year, I offer you up Tomball as an example to the contrary. But more is the point, just the fact that it can set the stage for a gigantic weekend where we might see 6 state champions, defending state champions, go down in one weekend, especially too with the pedigrees of Aledo and Carthage.
It is strange to look at the landscape that's left with just, there's 44 teams. Is that right? No, there's 88 teams left in the Texas high school football playoffs right now. And you asked me this on your show, and I'll just reverse the whip because I'm unoriginal. Who among those 88 strikes you as the most surprising, the one that you didn't necessarily see coming, the one that if I came to you at the beginning of the playoffs, let's say, and said, hey, they're going to make the regional finals, you would have said, nah, Tepper, you're crazy. Which of those teams is really surprising? Like Westlake, I think we were all pretty sure, okay, I think they're probably going to make the regional final. Who's the opposite of that? Who's the team that has surprised you the most?
Well, you came up with a couple of good offerings, and so in my unoriginality as well, yeah, Tomball would be one of those based on what was happening and having to win on the final Friday night of the regular season. From the preseason, you brought up Little Cypress Mauriceville, and I think that's a great take on there. Of course, all of us failing to see the PV factor and what it could do with that and what he's done with that. I can give you a couple other ones. I think Lago Vista would be one of those, although they've had a penchant for pulling a surprise or two in the postseason in some recent years. I think perhaps, well, South Oak Cliff, obviously, by what they did, had to really stun some folks. I think that would be another one that you could have in mind. Maybe Diebold could be another one in terms of making a run this deep in the postseason. I think all of those certainly could be candidates for that sort of thing. And then Klondike at the 6-man level. I mean, who would expect that? But they pulled off some eye-popping results along the way. So all of those, I think, are worthy candidates for it.
We're talking with Craig Way, the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. This all leads to this week where we do have, and one thing I think is interesting, and I think we marvel at this every year when we really shouldn't, but we've got 15 rematches here in the regional finals. There's 15 games that we've already seen that we will get to see again. Now, last week we had 18 rematches. I believe the teams that won the original game went 15-3 against them. Here's my question for you, Craig, and I may be putting you on the spot. Is there a rematch this week that you think could play out significantly different than the first aspect or first match? I'm not even necessarily saying that the team that lost will win, but maybe they close the gap so far a little bit more. Is there a rematch that you're going to be most especially keeping your eye on this week?
A couple come to mind. Colleyville Heritage Mansfield Summit would be one. I think that there's a lot of people who think, I don't know that I'm necessarily willing to go all the way to this, but there are a lot of people who think that Duncanville DeSoto thing could have a different look, or at least a more competitive look, to use your example there. I think that's maybe a possibility. I kind of feel similarly inclined about Salina and Aubrey. They know each other very, very well. So I think that's Cuero and Navarro, I think would be one to look at that could certainly flip the other way. So I think all of those come to mind, and it'll be interesting to see a couple of those how they ultimately play out from there. But I think those are the ones. Karen Prosper. Yeah. There's another one I had in mind that could be a lot different than the first time around, or at least a little bit different than the first time around.
Yeah, there's a couple of rematches, like Chilton and Mart. I look at that, and I'm not necessarily thinking it's going to be too much different. I think Mart looks like a runaway freight train. But then there's other ones that were so tight, like Navarro and Cuero, which was decided by 2 points back in week 4. I think you tee them up again, and it could be that those two teams are so evenly matched that you flip a coin essentially and see how it ends up going. All right, Craig, it's time for the worst thing we do to each other each week, and that is I am going to give you 3 games and a teleportation machine, and you can go to one of these 3 games, and even worse.
China Refugio.
Okay.
Fury.
Well, the other 2 I was going to say was it was the Super Bowl and Game 7 of the World Series with the Dodgers and the Astros. But okay, sure. Tell me why Shiner Furio.
Still Shiner Furio.
Well, yeah. Well, I think you're right. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Why would you want to go to Victoria tonight?
It's never. You even said something similar like this on my show. It's never dull and boring. They never fail to deliver, and it's got all kinds of drama. It's got unexpected twists. It's got weird stuff that happens. It's got 2 teams who have been just absolutely just slam banging everybody in their way, just running over them, and now they run into each other. What was it for the old school folks like myself, the OGs? They'll remember the original Superman movie incarnations with Christopher Reeve. As Superman 2, when General Zod and they all come the first time there, and you see Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor, the first time that Superman meets up with them, he goes, "Oh boy, this ought to be good." That is Shiner Furio.
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic tonight on TexanLive.com. You can watch Shiner and Refugio. He's Craig Way. He's the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. You can listen to him on the Horn in Austin every weekday from 10 to noon, and then you can hear him calling all sorts of Texas Longhorn sports down there. And, of course, you can see him Saturday night, 11 o'clock on Bally Sports Southwest on High School Scoreboard Live alongside Rick Renner and myself. Craig, appreciate your time, my friend, and I will see you on Saturday.
All right, just out of curiosity, what were the other two?
The other two I was going to give you were Allen South Lake Carroll or Denton Ryan College Station.
Ooh,
Shadow Fury.
I think
you're not changing his mind.
I think you're probably right, but I might as well challenge you a little bit. Appreciate you, Craig. See you Saturday.
Bye, Craig.
You bet. See you.
There
Thanks.
Craig White, the Texas High School Hall of Famer, joins us every day on Texas Football Today. Appreciate his time as always. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.